Hello everyone, collector of all things, and today I'm back with this Grand Seiko Sbgx261, and I have worn this for a couple of weeks now, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I'm going to do my best to cut down on how excited I am about this watch and try to focus just on the watch itself. First thing I want to mention is Grand Seiko. Grand Seiko is a luxury brand. I don't care what anyone else has to say about this. They are truly luxury. And if you need to know a little bit more about them, I suggest that you do read up on them, and you'll see that they have an incredible history, and they are up there with fine watchmaking. They are part of the Seiko group, but as of 2016, they have divorced their branding to become solely Grand Seiko, and they are coming out with some incredible watches. Now, today we're going to be discussing this one, and it is a beauty. So the first thing I want to get out of the way is that, yes, I am wearing white gloves, and the reason for that is that this watch is extremely high polished, and no matter how much I manipulate it, I can't stop smudging it. So I'm going to do my best to not smudge the watch, so I'm going to wear these white gloves just to show it off. Let's get the dimensions out of the way. This is a 37 millimeter watch. It's got a 19 millimeter lug width, and it is 9.9 millimeters high. So it does fit very comfortably if you're wearing a suit or a jacket or a long shirt. It will slide in and out of the cuff, no problem. Now, Grand Seiko is known for a couple of things, and one of the things they are known for is their finishing. And as you can see, I mean, it may be hard to see, but this watch is extremely well finished. The first thing I want to mention is the polishing itself. Now, this watch features mirror and brushed polishing. And the mirror polishing is what Grand Seiko calls Zoratsu polishing. It starts right around the bezel right here. That it starts with their mirror polishing. And as you can see, it puts mirrors to shame. It is incredible. On top of the case itself, so where the lugs are, it does feature a brushing, and the striations are incredible. You have this little step in between where the actual bracelet meets the watch, and that is high polished also. Then it has this little tiny stripe right here, this separation that is high polished, which goes into the high polished side of the case. And that polishing looks like liquid metal. It is really well done. It's beautiful. The crown itself is also extremely well done. It has their GS logo on it, which is high polished with a kind of sandblasting on the inside, and then it is finished off with a nice knurling on the side, which makes it very easy to grab. And as you can see, there are no lug guards. However, the actual crown is such a great size that it doesn't get caught on anything, and it is very comfortable. I've put my hand in my pocket, pulled it out, and it hasn't snagged on anything. So the top of the case is, as I said, brushed with these neat little polished flanks, as you can see right inside there. So there's a lot of work that goes on to this, and as I mentioned, there's Zoratsu polishing, and the Zoratsu polishing is all done by hand by an artist. So this takes a lot of skill to be able to do this on both sides and for it to match up evenly, and they have done an incredible job. If we look at the bracelet, the brushing of the lugs follows the brushing of the bracelet, and the bracelet is incredibly well done. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. If we get down to the clasp is a fold-over clasp, one-piece design, and it does snap with some authority. It's very strong, stays into place, and it only comes apart when you depress both buttons on the side, which they themselves are highly polished. It is a milled clasp, and even the polishing on the clasp is done to a much higher degree than you would expect for a clasp. It is really well finished. The clasp even features a little type of beveling right here that when the clasp is closed, it feels great on the wrist. The links have like a little bit of a beveling on the inside, so it is channeled. It makes it very comfortable, and they have a nice separation to evaporate heat on a warm day. There is a slight amount of flex, although that is engineered into the watch. This is not a Swiss watch, this is a Japanese watch, and they like having a little bit of flex, and I have to agree, it is extremely comfortable. The links are held together by screws. Getting back to the finishing, like I said, the brushing is incredible on the top, but there is a slight bevel of polishing just on the side, which leads into that high polished side, which follows the case design. The case being brushed on the top, polished on the side, brushed on the top, polished on the side. To measure out the size of the bracelet, they use full links and they use half links. Now, there are no micro adjustments, but I have been able to find a perfect size and be very comfortable with it. If we go around and we go all the way to the back of the watch itself, you can see that the back of the watch is very highly finished. It does have their Grand Seiko logo, which is engraved into the case back, and it too features their Zaratsu polishing and that incredible Grand Seiko lion with kind of like again, another sandblasting finish. There is a radial type of polishing that goes around the back, and it does feature their Zaratsu polishing on the outside of it, and it is a screw down case back. Of course, I forgot to mention that with the bracelet, it is a solid bracelet, so all the way through, everything, nothing's fold over. This is very highly done. With the bracelet, the case also features drilled lug holes. Now, if we take a look at the dial is something to mention. Now, Grand Seiko is famous for their dials. If you're familiar with them, you'll know about their snowflake, their peacock, and of course their special edition dials. This is none of that. This is just a simple black dial, but Grand Seiko finds a way to even make their simple black dials look amazing. Now, the dial itself is pitch black, although in some light it does feature kind of a gray sheen to it because of the way the back looks. We're looking at the dial right now through their crystal. This is a sapphire crystal, and the crystal does feature anti-reflective coating on the inside. As you can see, the indices are incredibly well polished. You can see that they're doing a kind of like a dance of the light right now, which looks like different colors, kind of like a rainbow. They are brushed on the top and highly polished on the side. And of course, this is all the famed Zaratsu polishing of Grand Seiko. If we look at the GS logo, it is applied, and the GS signature in their incredible script. I just truly love that. I think it adds a little bit of class to the watch. The hands are these gorgeous dolphin hands, again brushed on the top and highly polished on the side. They are sharp as swords. And then if we look at the second hand that is ticking away right now, that too is done to a very high degree. This was not an afterthought. This was something very special. The date window is matched up well with the back of the dial. It is white on black, and it is framed by a metal frame. And again, in the light, it just sparkles. You have the minute track on the outside that is in white and very, very crisp. And then at the bottom, you do have some signature, the fact that it is made in Japan, wholly and solely made in Japan. There's no parts of these that come from any other country. This is all done in-house by artisans at Grand Seiko. Now, I want to address the movement. As you can see, it's ticking away. This is a quartz movement, but it is not just a regular quartz movement. Even with this, Grand Seiko went overboard, and I'll put a little picture right about here to show off the finishing of this 9F movement. There are two sizes, the 82 and 62, this being the smaller case, which is the 62. It is not just highly finished, it is also extremely well made in the fact that it is sealed. So the lubricants inside the movement are good for about 50 years. So the only maintenance you have to do is change a battery every 3 years. The other thing that I want to mention too is that it is highly accurate. You're looking at a difference of about 10 seconds a year, and they even have their limited editions that are 5 seconds a year. And you're asking, how are they able to get that type of accuracy out of their quartz? Well, they grow their own crystal, so they actually made a factory just to grow their own crystal, and then they grow it over 3 months, and they match it directly to an integrated circuit inside the watch so that they can guarantee that accuracy. So like I said, this is not your normal, cheap watch, $5, $10 watch quartz. This is really a luxury item, a luxury movement in a luxury watch. Well, what more can I say about this? One thing I do want to say is that this has become a staple of my watch collection, and it has been very hard for me not to wear this every day. It is extremely comfortable. As you can see, I've gotten a little bit of scratches on it, but you know what? It just adds to the beauty of this watch. I can't put it down. It has vastly become one of my favorite watches. If you're interested in Grand Seiko, I do suggest that you go and research them. They are a phenomenal brand with a great history. Seiko in general, they have everything from the least expensive up to very expensive. And Grand Seiko is a luxury brand. So I do highly recommend this brand. The fit and finish is above anything in its range, and it rivals some of the best out there. Even the Swiss have a problem getting this type of finishing. Well, I hope you liked the look at this watch. And if you did, please don't forget to leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And on that note, I want to thank all my subscribers. I really appreciate you taking the time to click that subscribe button and to click that like button. And I'll see you all in the next video.